Hi, I'm Luke.
And I'm Zach.
And we're here to reclaim your gaming news from corporate media.
This is Reclaim Gaming.
Alrighty, guys. So last week we had so many rumors coming out.
So many.
I was absolutely astonished by the amount of rumors we had coming out. So we had to do something about it. We had to say something about it. A lot of very exciting things if they're coming true. One of my personal favorites.
Mine as well.
Going way back.
Way back.
Right.
We have Knights of the Old Republic in the works.
Exactly. Yes.
A fan favorite for sure in the Star Wars community.
Absolutely. One of BioWare's piece de resistance.
Both of them.
Yeah. Well, the second one wasn't BioWare. Remember, that was
Obsidian.
It?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
I always mess that up.
Yeah, because they did KOTOR, then they did Jade Empire was the next
one.
Jade
Empire was also amazing.
Which was fantastic. But right now, it looks like... Well, there was a rumor a few years back about 2015.
2015, yeah. There was a suggested that it was a KOTOR remake. And eventually, throughout the year, that ended up getting canned. 2016, they came back and said it was on the back burner.
The back burner. Okay. So, it's a little... Why do we call it back burner if you're trying to put it on ice? But I digress.
Because putting it on ice means you killed it.
Okay, let's not kill it. You're right. But recently, it looks like rumors have begun to circulate again, and maybe more than just rumors. It looks like there was a source.
So there was a rumor earlier in the week.
Okay.
And then the next day, sources claimed that it has come to fruition.
Okay.
And that developers are actively working on it.
Okay. And what I'm understanding here is that it's not necessarily just a default remake of the base game, that it might also be a bit of a spiritual or a soft reboot as well.
Right. So what these sources had also said is that not only was it a reimagining, but it's going to use the base form of KOTOR 1 and 2, and it's going to use that game base, but it's going to redesign the story to fit the new canonical Star Wars universe.
Oh, okay. So they're just gonna go in and Kathleen Kennedy it all up and chop it up.
Let's hope they don't go that far.
Okay.
But it's definitely gonna fall into the current Star Wars narrative.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
Okay.
Maybe we can see how Sidious came back to life from 4,000 years ago.
Right. Okay. I don't want to talk about Star Wars. Let's just put it that way. So, that's definitely an interesting thing that we got going into here. But no, it doesn't really stop there, does it?
No.
No. Konami, our least favorite developer, after such wonderful titles as Metal Gear Survive.
It's not that we hate them, but we definitely
hate them.
Okay, we definitely
hate them.
I was trying to be the nice guy. Apparently, I'm a good cop.
The Metal Gear Solid 3 HD remaster pachinko machine.
Why are we still
that one,
here?
My favorite, absolutely.
Just to suffer.
And just completely driving everything into the ground.
Speaking of the pachinko machines, though, you heard about the Silent Hill ones, right?
Yeah, there's definitely been some Silent Hill ones.
Yeah, the new one, 4K Ultra HD pachinko machine.
No.
So you can see how much you won in 4K.
No. Okay, but maybe there's some good news on the horizon here.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, well, from what it sounds like, is Konami has actually been, getting their grub a little pachinko loving fingers going around and looking for developers so that they might publish 2 new Silent Hill games. A proper Silent Hill game, which, again, Konami and proper, I'm not sure. And a more episodic Telltale game that would contribute to the new, I guess, storyline, what they're going for.
Right, because I think what they're doing with these Silent Hills is they're doing it within the world, but not from the same offshoot.
Right, and we say Silent Hills not to be confused with Silent Hills, the canceled Silent Hill game. This is absolutely convoluted. But yeah, so they're going in a whole new direction, it sounds like, and it's been about 2 years that they said.
Since the cancellation of the last ones, right?
No, it's been a bit longer than that, because, I mean, Death Stranding was in development 2 years ago. They were showing stuff off. I mean, we'll have to check.
It's been so long since Silent Hill came back.
Somewhere here, when that game was canceled, and PT was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And that was the demo for it. So that was probably 2014, maybe? That was a little bit ago. But yes, they're going from there.
So these reports have come from a known reliable leaker on Twitter. He goes by the handle of Aesthetic Gamer.
Right.
He leaked the news for the Resident Evil 7 DLC, the remake of Resident Evil 3, and said in 2019 the remake was going to be sooner than expected, which we've come to realize is this year.
Right. So he's just a reliable leaker on Twitter at this point, because he has done those things in the past.
He, Aesthetic Gamer states, in other news, while I'm dropping this stuff and I think I can talk about this, I'll mention there's a couple new Silent Hill games in the work. Konami about 2 years ago reached out to various developers to pitch ideas for 2 Silent Hill games. One, a soft reboot of the franchise, the other an episodic Telltale Until Dawn style game to go alongside the reboot. I don't know anything more than that though, but I sure do hope Konami's given it the appropriate budget and found the right developer to make those games succeed.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the biggest part, isn't it?
Finding
the right developer who's able to give the series the love and attention that it needs.
And respect even.
Right. So, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, there definitely was one guy.
There was one.
There was one guy who was able to go ahead and do that. But we all saw how that went. But maybe history might be doing a little rewriting?
Yeah. And just to go further on that, we don't know anything that's going on with the developments of this game. We do have the art director Mashiro Ito said that he was working on a quote, a title as a core member. I hope the title won't be canceled. It's not sure what he's talking about, but it's speculated that it is going to be Silent Hill.
Absolutely. And when you go ahead and start putting all the lines on the serial killer wall, and get the yarn out, then you're able to make some very interesting conclusions about how these things might be tying up, and that kind of sort of leads back to our boy Kojima. Yeah.
Try not to mention him, but of course he comes up.
Right. Now, this is a very, very weak link. But I think it's worth mentioning is that Kojima Productions is currently working on a big game, right? But they're also working on smaller episodic titles. And so an episodic title would be definitely something akin to a Telltale game, and it would be a developer who's like, hey, we want a Telltale style Silent Hill. You've worked with the property before. Now they do have a very messy past, but money tends to overlook those things. And I feel like Konami is trying, maybe, this is just conjecture, Konami might be attempting to re-enter the gaming space with certain franchises and is saying, oh crap, we need to keep these things relevant or they're not going to be worthwhile. And Kojima knows his stuff, and he knows the property, and he knows his things, and he made this game, and it did really well. It's getting all sort of critical appraise. It's making good money. Maybe we should go and take a look at this.
And it's not Metal Gear Survive.
Exactly. Anything that's not Metal Gear Survive, I'm 100% good for that. So it's pretty much a stretch, but it could be a chance.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say More like 1 out of a million.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Well, one thing we do know for sure is that Kojima wants to do all sorts of stuff because he's a crazy dude.
Mm-hmm. He's a very, very ambitious individual. He wants to, take the success he's done with gaming. We've all seen his games, how they have such a strong cinematic narrative to them.
Yes.
I mean, just look at any of the Metal Gears.
Metal Gear Solid 4, the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What, they had like a 45-minute intro?
Oh, I think there was definitely like a 2.5 hour long cutscene.
Yeah. So we can see where Kojima's really trying to want to go cinematic. He stated in a BBC interview, in the future, Kojima Productions will also start making film. Kojima said in the documentary, if a person can do one thing well, then they should be able to do anything well.
That is truly spoken like Kojima, but probably not in English. Definitely with a translator. We didn't watch the documentary, just throwing that one out there. We just...
What if it was perfect English and we just...
Right? Absolutely. Just Kojima's throwing us under the bus right now. But that's not all, he wants to do. The guy is looking at going into anime and manga and super weeb culture. What's my Naruto hat?
Exactly what you'd expect, though.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So, anyways, in an interview with Famitsu, the Japanese news publication, he and Yoji Shinkawa, who is a artist and illustrator, a lead artist at Kojima Productions. He actually came over from Konami with Kojima. He was responsible for many of the mecha designs and many just designs in general for Metal Gear and Zone of the Enders. And Kojima said that he's just super interested in really fleshing out Mr. Shinkawa's art style. Really wants to go into it and make a full feature-length thing. So that would really get him into the anime field as well.
And the two of them have worked together for so long. Mm-hmm. I mean, with an art director like Shinkawa, and then a a director like Kojima, I would love to see their product. Yeah.
So I mean, it definitely sounds like there's a lot in works for KJP and Kojima in general. But man, it's really been an exciting week for rumors. Mm-hmm. And it's still not over.
Still going on.
Because this is the big one.
So we've all been talking about, the console wars are starting.
Right.
E3 especially has been a hot topic. It's been a contentious topic.
Yes.
Especially with Sony announcing they're not going to be there.
Right.
But Sony has been They're working their devilish little fingers behind the scenes. There's high anticipation and a lot of rumors to suggest that Sony's going to be showing some kind of their own release, maybe not a press release, but some kind of content in this February.
I know what it is.
Well, it'd be like
they're showing off the PS5.
Yeah, it's a Sony Direct.
Possibly
Sony
on
Direct.
The 22nd, a Sony Nintendo Direct Treehouse Club. They're possibly showing off the PS5 on my birthday. Mm-hmm. So happy birthday to me, I guess.
You get a new PlayStation.
They're gonna give me 5 PS5s. And I was gonna say one for each birthday. I'm not 5 years old. Well, but there has been a fairly significant leak on 4chan about this event.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. But the leak is in regards to launch titles.
Right.
And speculative titles that they might be showing off here. As for those games, the list of 5 games, again, 5, it's a lucky number. Mm-hmm. Gran Turismo 7, which is a hard hitter. MLB The Show 21. However, that is actually no longer an exclusive, I believe. They just announced that not too long ago. Demon's Souls Remastered, a game
That'd be highly requested, for sure.
Especially since it's a game that very few people got to play.
Yeah, so...
Because
it came out before Dead Souls and nobody knew about it.
Dark Souls, yeah.
Dark Souls, sorry.
Luckily, you know, there was value seen in the series, and they're like, oh, let's make a spiritual successor. That became Dark Souls.
Right.
That became what it is now. Today.
Yeah.
Right. And from what I hear, it's even more challenging.
I've heard it's more brutal.
Yeah. But then there's a couple others. Godfall, which right now is the only confirmed game. There is a trailer out for that was shown. I think it was at the Game Awards. The same night they did the Xbox Series X reveal, which kind of made it feel a little unrewarding just seeing one game from Gearbox that might be good, that might not be good.
Colonial
Marines.
It's a slasher looter. I don't know.
Which you could be fine. Which sounds like third-person Diablo.
Yeah.
To be quite
that's exactly
honest.
what it kind of looks like, honestly.
But yeah, so that's and there's one more game from Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Yeah.
The Santa Monica Studios.
Yeah, that one's called Legends.
Do we know anything about that?
Nah.
It has a Z at the end. So
it's Z for style.
Right, and for gangster rap. So
it's a gangster rap stylish game.
Yeah, from Santa Monica Studios.
Some new games that were not going to be launch titles in any regard, but they are working on the Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right.
A new Crash Bandicoot.
Okay.
A sequel to Spider-Man.
Okay.
And a sci-fi game from Naughty Dog, which is potentially a resurrection of a game they were working on in the past.
Right.
It never had a name, but fans started calling it Savage Starlight.
Right, and that was a comic in The Last of Us?
Yeah, so that was
if I remember?
Yeah, that was a comic in The Last of Us, and all we really saw was some text from it and some pictures from it.
Right.
And, what was it, Game Crate? They asked if there was any images that ever kind of...
Yeah, Game Crate had an interview with the creative director.
Bruce Straley.
Yes, that's right. Bruce Straley. He said, or rather, let's take it back a bit. There is a 30th anniversary art book that was for Naughty Dog. And that art book had images of an untitled sci-fi game that was canceled for the PS3, right? So that's kind of how this is all tying together. That's how we know anything about it. Right. So Game Crate, they went into this interview and they said, hey, is there anything that you wish you could have continued working on? Specifically, what about this sci-fi project, essentially? And they said... He responded to them, I'm not going to drop hints to what it is because who knows, it might actually happen. He told Game Crate there's still a story. There's some great game ideas. There's a lot of really cool stuff in the thing. Like, I think it'd be really cool to see if Naughty Dog could do this game. So it sort of added fuel to the fire that, if there is this new sci-fi thing, it might still be based on some of those ideas that were not put on ice. Right? They were put on the back burner.
There you go.
For the most part, it sounds like the games that are in the upcoming release schedule are not actually exclusives. Crash Bandicoot isn't exclusive anymore. Obviously Spider-Man is. Horizon Zero Dawn, that's a whole nother topic because it is coming to PC.
But that's just the first one.
So it's just, but I'm assuming it's going to be a timed exclusive.
Yeah, maybe.
So I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and those mostly are exclusives. But it's interesting that, Crash Bandicoot, that one just stood out to me because it is a Sony. It's not a Sony exclusive anymore. It hasn't been for a long time, but it is synonymous with PlayStation.
When you think of Crash Bandicoot, you think of PlayStation.
Absolutely. Which I think, if they are talking about these things, it leaves them in a good position for when E3 comes around because they're not going to be there, right? That still gives them time to do, I think, what an EA does, a Nintendo does. They don't go to the show floor anymore. They don't do anything, but they might still have their own sort of presentation, their own keynote somewhere. And that would, open the doors up, or maybe even their own event outside of E3 that they can just show exclusive, which would put them in a very good place. Yeah.
As we mentioned, a lot of this is all speculation, but it's not baseless. And that's Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if Sony will announce all this, or if they won't announce all this, or if, they'll make us into liars, or you guys will be carrying us on big chairs like kings because we had all the answers. But what we do know, it has definitely been an interesting week, and we look forward to see what's coming in the coming months and when these events start happening.
Yeah, and yeah.
Alrighty, thank you so much, you guys.
I'm Zach.
I'm Luke.
And this has been Reclaim Gaming. Peace.
Have a good one. Signing out.